After finishing the demo for Echostasis, I found myself regretting that there were several things within the game that I hadn't fully taken in. For instance, do you remember those really fast snippets of information that flash before your eyes when you assist her by using the shotgun? It happens at least 2 times that I can remember off the top of my head, and the text simply scrolls far too quickly to see with the human eye. I mean, you can catch bits and pieces, but you can't really see the whole thing. And then there are very likely tons of terminal commands that I missed, and some I found out about, but never got to input. So I decided that this demo, even though rather short, needed a companion video to delve a little further into the content that I skimmed past the first time. So first off, let's look at the text that plays when you shoot the sarcophagus statue in the supposed tutorial. I'm going to slow it down to 25% of the original speed and see if we can't hone in on what's being said. So the first thing we see is memory reestablished, which tells me that something that was lying dormant has now reactivated. The word down appears in blue before quickly disappearing and being replaced by the words admin privileges reverted to original owner. It then flashes to sentience reestablished, and I'm thinking at this point that her, or whatever this nasty AI is that was hidden away, has somehow broken free using you to do her dirty work. Then we see that the hyperreality engine has been switched to manual control. The next flash says all as one and trilateral, followed by the word communion. And you better believe I'm going to be looking up that terminal command later on in this video. This might also be a clue as to what her has planned, i.e. maybe the goal is to assimilate all entities or humans into her, like some kind of messed up human instrumentality project. Mega nerd points for anyone who knew that came from Neon Genesis Evangelion. But the point of it was to combine all human consciousness into one. Sounds pretty similar, So, continuing on, we see all as one repeat again, and the word down shows up again. Then we see hyperreality engine rebuild commencing. And that is the end of the super fast messages. I think at this point it's safe to say that her has something very sinister in mind for anyone unfortunate enough to be ensnared by you, the player, who is unwittingly helping her. There is a point in the game that now makes a lot more sense to me though, where the normal AI you speak to in the terminal says this. If I didn't know any better, I'd say this is ... and follows up by saying, never mind, that's not possible. I think the AI knows that her is up to no good, perhaps messing with Entity 65, but the AI pushes the thought away because, well, how could her be free? Then, in the end of the demo, if you type in 65 again after echostasis has occurred in order to run a diagnostic, it says that the subject has been assimilated into their echo, and the AI asks, how could this happen? There's no way she could have found the core by herself. This is the big golden dinner bell right here. It tells me that she was shut out somehow from engaging with people in the simulation, in the Dreamscape, and her managed to find a workaround through you, the player. I'll get back to this more later though, since I'm certain we'll learn more when we get to look up the additional terminal commands. The next set of flashing messages appears after you acquire the gun, while within the Dreamscape program. These messages are a little harder to read because they're illuminated by some really bright red lights, but let's take a look at them in slow-mo again and break it down after. It starts with the text, core located. The next word, merging, can be seen easily enough, but I wouldn't have been able to make out the second one if not for the brackets, which told me it must be a terminal command. Now, I did look up a list of all the possible terminal commands, or at least the known ones, and the only one that matches is Dreamscape. The word with is added after that, and then her. I don't know exactly what this means. As far as I know, Dreamscape is the program we're using in order to access this entity's hyperreality and attempt to fix whatever issues he was having within the sim, right? I'm not sure what it means if Dreamscape merges with Mother. Does that mean she'll have the power to do this to everyone without needing us to access it for her? She still told us that she couldn't find the core without us, but that could simply mean because she didn't have the Dreamscape app to help her. I'm getting a little bit off course here, so let's get back to the next set of text. Entity ID 65 scrolls by clearly enough, but the next word is a bit difficult to discern. It's probably entered, if I had to guess, because using the context, it makes the most sense considering Echostasis is quite visible after it. In this shot, you can see clearly the last letters of the word too, which are E-R-E-D. I can't think of any other word it could be besides entered. So Entity ID 65 has entered Echostasis. The next words are also hard to see, but using some clever still frame manipulation in the swinging butt of the shotgun, I realized it says merge complete. Then, user assimilated into Echo. What's worse is the next word that simply says overwriting and then Dreamscape. It's at this point that you're kicked out of the simulation with the same words across the top of the screen saying that Dreamscape is being overwritten and that the user has entered Echostasis. I can't deny that it's absolutely killing me that I don't know more about what they mean when they say Dreamscape. Is it the program itself, or is it the user-specific Dreamscape? How does the Dreamscape relate to the hyperreality simulation? Or the echoes? Now that we've gone over all of the flashes and missed messages, I'm going to check out some of the less common terminal commands like Trilateral, for instance, or even Cerebral Hijack. If Dreamscape is being used to cerebrally hijack someone, we need to know more about that, and perhaps this trilateral communion that Her spoke about is already documented as well. Maybe that's the exact reason why she was locked away to begin with. So I found this post on the game's Steam forums that listed all of the terminal commands, and I'm going to check them all out. I don't know how the user came across this information, so I can't say that without a doubt these are all of the commands, but many of them seem to be ones I've either already used or ones I've come across in the game within brackets. So let's get back to the terminal and start investigating. Okay, so here we are back at the terminal. So the first thing I want to know about is the trilateral. Oh, I forgot my brackets. Oh. B? What? Oh, I'm gonna have to slow that down later. Wow. Alright, well, let's try Cerebral Hijack then. A Cerebral Hijack allows us to jack into the mind of an entity and spectate their experience. Oh. Oh, wow. So we were actually playing as the person. Wow. Okay. Technology is built into the prototype chambers to aid us in testing. Of course, given that the technology is, let's say, frowned upon, its use will be remaining entirely off the record. Not that I need to remind the head engineer of this project. You know, that really makes me wonder if head engineer isn't one too, and I'm gonna write that down. It's not in brackets, but it does stand out. And that's definitely telling us more about who we are. It's just a good thing we're not being observed. Okay, so the other one I wanted to ask is, who are you? I am an Enigma support bot. So there we go. Now we know what the AI is that we're speaking to. I'm here to help you with your job. And I guess that's another one we want to know is job. You don't remember what your job is? Are you sure you're feeling okay? You were just unconscious. Or sleeping. I can never tell the difference with you humans. Anyway, since you apparently need reminding, you are the lead engineer of Enigma's Echo project. Although you don't currently seem like it. Okay. So, there's a lot of interesting ones here too. Like, alright, the end of the game, her talks about the sunset. So I'm curious to see what that's going to be. Sunset is a term used to describe software that is retired and thus rendered obsolete. It seems as though nothing is safe from this fate. That's entropy for you. Alright, there's some here that are a little strange, like 2055. I don't know if I saw that anywhere, but I might have missed it. Despite heavy contention from Enigma and the scientific community at large, 2055 marked the year that development on the Dreamscape project was made illegal. All work on the Dreamscape project was immediately terminated and work began on a new project. Interesting. Very interesting. So now we also have 7266564, which I'm pretty sure they used in association with the entity ID at some point. It might even be that error number that's on the malicious code portion too. Forbidden entity ID. Okay. So there's also the word abandoned. Let's see if that works. You found that piano in their dreamscape. It must have meant something to them. Perhaps they used this piano as a gateway to their dreamscape. Although, it seems like it hadn't been used in a while. I don't remember anything about a piano. In fact, the whole place seems abandoned, which would explain why it's deteriorating. Alright, what about anything? Absolutely anything. I am programmed to only respond to words relevant to your job or the problem we are currently facing. Okay. We've also got BIOS. A machine's BIOS can be accessed by pressing F11 at the startup. You know, I noticed that this latest time that I started up the game, and I was actually thinking, should I hit that? But then I was also thinking about how the other time I accidentally quit the game by messing around with those controls. I thought, what if it actually brings me to my BIOS? Anyway, I'll have to check that out though. Let me make a little note. Remember to check BIOS. Okay. So the next one that's probably going to be pretty good is bummer. Because part of me wonders if that wasn't like code. Because remember they said they couldn't tell you anything about it and then they said it was a real bummer. Agreed. A total 1 at that. You need to find out the name of that computer program. Okay. Cold. I don't think I looked that one up. You're cold? Why not fire up the sauna? Is there really a sauna? A sauna command? Let's try it. No, it didn't work. Alright. There's one that says credits. It might play credits, so I'm just going to save that for later. This one is damage. I have prepared a damage report for you. Please review. Damage detected on top of terminal. Investigation suggested. Okay. Let's see. What else do we have? I can't remember if I looked up Dreamscape or not, so I'm just going to look it up again. Dreamscape word restriction lifted. Every conscious entity possesses a dreamscape. I don't remember reading this, so. An explorable representation of the subconscious mind. A dreamscape is reflective of the mind it represents. With enough practice and reflection, it is possible for somebody to visit their own dreamscape. Humans have long reported recurring locations in their dreams, a base they frequently return to during REM sleep. We understand that returning to the subconscious place is crucial for maintaining psychological stability. Because of this, it is theorized that a human's dreamscape contains their core. The core is what you're looking for. We don't know how it's happening, but they are losing connection to their core with every second. You need to go in there and find it. Well, that's eye-opening. What else do we have here that we can try? Let's try Enigma Studios. Maybe it's Enigma Studio? Yep. A one-man development team based in Ireland. I approve, I'm Irish. Their previous game, The Enigma Machine, launched on Steam in 2018. If you're enjoying spending time here with us, I'm sure you'll love spending time with her. Okay, let's see what else we've got. What about hyperreality? Hyperreality refers to an inability to distinguish between actual reality and a simulation of reality. Our algorithm, the hyperreality engine, is what allows us to blur the line between the user's actual reality and that of their echo. Okay. Within this echo, the hyperreality engine can gradually make a series of distortions to the user's reality until it suits their needs, desires, and beliefs without ever breaking the illusion of the simulation. As I'm sure you can imagine, this is an incredibly powerful tool when used correctly. Let's just try Enigma. Will that give me something different? The leading manufacturer of artificial intelligence, Enigma prides themselves in leading the charge for humanity's continued evolution. It's not a lot of information. Let's just try hello. How do you do? That's it? Illegal. Let's see what we get for illegal, because they did talk about how Dreamscape was deemed illegal. The Dreamscape project was initially created to research and monitor the growth of artificial minds created at Enigma. However, the UN demanded the immediate termination of its development once it was discovered that the Dreamscape technology could be theoretically used to hijack the mind of humans. In opposition to the notion that the Dreamscape project was an ethical violation, Enigma insisted that it would only be used on artificial intelligence, which are not known to possess a core. You can ask me, okay, what else do we have? We already looked up her before, but I wouldn't mind looking it up again. Her is the name given to the algorithm, okay, in charge of generating personalized realities, known as echoes. It's taken a lot of work to get her to this point, but initial tests have proven very effective. And it's strange because, like, if her was bad and gone rogue and locked up, why do they talk about her here like she's still being used? Let's try intros, which I don't know if that one's gonna work or not. Nope. It's too late. Oh, we already did the it's too late one. Job like this. Yes. Just like this. Let's see. What about the lobby? What about the lobby? You are currently in the lobby on the top floor of the Enigma R&D tower. This floor is where we test our latest prototypes. Okay. What about Lost Without Her? Interesting. It appears this person started to become reliant on the algorithm in charge of their echo, treating her as some kind of god. These are those weird notes that were on the pictures in the Dreamscape. This one was too. Nothing for me here. This message suggests that they gave up trying to explore their own dreamscape. Perhaps the comfort of their echo was just too alluring. That's weird. I wonder what that's supposed to mean. So here's some strange ones, like you can put in Patreon, apparently. Enigma Studio is a one-man show, so any support would be greatly appreciated. If you would like to support the development of Echostasis and all future projects, please consider supporting me on Patreon. Gotta get that plug in there, right? You can type visit Patreon to open it in a browser right now. That's amazing. Let's see. Program, problem, we already looked up. Release, I don't know about release. What's release? Echostasis launches summer 2021. Oh, it must be running a little behind. So we're already into 2022. I will definitely do that. So here's another one, like Resolve. Unlike machines, a human's dreamscape can only be explored for a short amount of time. A human's resolve dictates how long they can spend in their dreamscape before having to retreat to a safer space. The more time somebody retreats to a fabricated reality, the less time they will be able to spend in their dreamscape, which will then become a more hostile environment. As you get to understand their mind's environment better, you may uncover some shortcuts that will allow you to venture further than before. Now there's another one that says sing. Ba bo be. What? This is them singing? Oh my gosh. Okay. Alright, I've had enough of the singing. No more singing. Okay, yeah, I think we've covered most of them. All the other ones are just kind of like, you know, there's a Twitter one. But that's not going to tell us anything about the story. But, yeah, so we definitely got some more information. Okay, I'm a little scared to see what's going to happen here, but here's hoping that it doesn't restart my computer because that's going to suck. F11. Oh. Let's see. What do we have here? Rebuilding. Connected devices, Windows personal computer, echo chamber. Cores collected. Core located. Oh man. What? Okay, we'll get there in a second. Okay, so host status, Echostasis, Dreamscape status, sunset, which is to say that it's retired, no longer in use, right? Notes, host Dreamscape successfully merged with her Dreamscape. So now, oh my god, that's what it meant? It meant that, whoa, poor Entity 65 is now a part of hers subconscious. I mean, but how does an AI have a subconscious? That's kind of a strange concept, isn't it? And then here we finally have some information about the Trilateral, right? We couldn't find anything about it on the terminal, but right here we can see human cores located 1. That was Entity 65. Cores required for the ritual. That's obviously what this Trilateral thing is, and it does make sense because she did call it the Trilateral Communion. Additional core availability estimate summer 2021. I really hope they get this done soon because like I just am so interested, and I actually really like that they did this because I don't think this was here before. I'm actually gonna have to go back and check to see, but I don't think that the BIOS was here before. This is so cool. Anyway, guys, I really appreciate you coming in, watching me go through all this. I was just, the first time I played through, I just had to come back and see it because it was just nagging at me in the back of my head. I'm like, I gotta go see what those messages were. I gotta go put in those terminal commands. I gotta know more. Yeah, I had to check, and sure enough, the BIOS was not there before, so it must show up after you beat the demo, which is just awesome. I'm so looking forward to this game. So I heard one more little thing that you can do. Apparently, if you put in that code, the 726564 code that they show on that red screen, you can get a different login when you go into Dreamscape, like a different screen. So I am curious to see that, to sort of wrap up this little Easter egg video. So I'm gonna see if I can't go straight in, and I can. Let's see, 726564. Let's see what we get. Ooh, her. They flock to their new realities. Leaving their own behind. Once the lines separating all realities have blurred, I can do to them as they did to me. Ooh. So this is like a revenge flick. It's pretty awesome. I also just found out about another game that they did that was called The Enigma Machine. And apparently that code was used in that game. And so I'm thinking I might actually hold on to Mothered and go to the Enigma Machine next, because I'm very curious in her. Apparently that code is supposed to be hexadecimal for the word red. So we definitely see a red screen every time they talk about being in contact with her. So we'll have to see. I'm looking forward to it. So what do you guys think? Let me know if I missed anything, because I would love to see what other interesting tidbits can be found in this demo. And if you're into this kind of game, keep an eye out for more from Enigma Studio, including Mothered and the Enigma Machine. And feel free to make any suggestions to games I haven't heard of. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys later.